Before this video begins, I'd like to give a huge thanks to my channel members, who you can see on screen now. Become a member by hitting the join button and get your name here among other awards today. Hello there and welcome back to Forza Top Gear Labs Rivals, the spin-off where we pit a couple of cars with common ground and close PIs against each other to see which one comes out on top. Today we focus on 70s compact cars, which on the surface don't seem like much, but with some research you'll find not only is there a lot of innovation and interesting ideas within them, you'll perhaps find them underappreciated, and somewhat unjustly so. Firstly, we have the Chevrolet Vega, Chevrolet's equivalent to the AMC Gremlin and Ford Pinto. History remembers these cars as little more than jokes and punchlines, but all three of them had their merits, with the Vega perhaps being the most impressive of all. The Vega featured several innovations and clever ideas. Most notably was the use of an all-new 2.3 litre 4-cylinder engine with an aluminium block, which significantly lightened the engine as well as making use of a single overhead cam, a rarity at the time. Elsewhere, the chassis had been developed to deliver European handling, with engineers making use of GM's European Opel division, as well as bigger Chevrolet models to develop a very well-handling chassis, being hailed as the best handling American passenger car when it was first launched. Even the way the Vega was produced and transported was unique and innovative, with production making heavy use of robots and automated processes, along with the Vegas being transported in a vertipack, allowing them to be held vertically nose down, for us being able to transport more Vegas at once. However, while initial praise was strong, much like its opposition, the Vega would eventually gain an unfavourable reputation, with numerous breakdowns and recalls, heavy corrosion, and safety issues such as fire souring the Vega's name, and the Vega was subsequently dropped in 1977. This particular version is the high-performance GT model, which featured some styling tweaks as well as a 2-barrel carburetor. For all its advancements, the unfortunate truth of the Vega is such an innovative and all-new car was developed by just one team in just 24 months and in ever-changing market conditions. Who knows what could have been if the Vega was given the development time and manpower it needed to succeed. Next up, we have the Mazda RX-3, also known as the Savannah in its native Japan, and while the Vega may have some interesting quirks with its engine, the RX-3 is on a whole different level entirely. The Mazda RX-3 utilises a Wankel rotary engine, a different form of internal combustion engine, which makes use of one-way triangular rotors constantly rotating to generate power. While it certainly has disadvantages, the Wankel engine delivers improved smoothness, simplicity, and more interestingly to car enthusiasts, a much higher revolution rate, and a distinctive noise unlike anything else. The Mazda RX-3 itself is a trim level of the Mazda Grand Familia, a large variant of the Mazda Familia, designed primarily to join the influx of Japanese imports that were rocking the US market at the time, like the Honda Civic and Toyota Corolla. With the RX-3, Mazda was able to blow the competition out of the water in terms of performance. While the standard Grand Familia had a 1.6 litre 4-cylinder making 70 horsepower, the RX-3's 12A rotary engine displaced the equivalent of 1.1 litres, yet actually made 40 more horsepower than the 1.6, and matched the power of the Vega's 2.3 litre 4-cylinder. This made the rotary engine especially popular in Japan due to their stringent road tax. While the rotary engine would struggle in later years due to issues with fuel economy, emissions and reliability, Mazda stuck by the rotary engine in production cars until 2012, when the Mazda RX-8 finally signalled the end of the line for rotary engines in the modern age. Although Mazda has always expressed interest in potentially adapting the rotary engine for use in future applications, the RX-3 was the most popular pre-RX-7 rotary Mazda, with the coupe body style as seen here being the most popular style, making over 50% of the total RX-3 sales. These facts would later go on to be used when developing the RX-3's spiritual successor, the legendary Mazda RX-7. So, that's the lowdown on these forgotten champions of innovation and outside-the-box thinking, but which one is faster? It's time to head to the track. We begin with the 1971 Chevrolet Vega, 110 horsepower, 138 foot-pound torque, 2,230 pounds of weight. This is the torquiest car here today, and it is indeed the heaviest car here today, although 2,230 pounds is hardly heavy. Interestingly enough, both the RX-3 and the Chevrolet Vega are actually tied at 110 horsepower, so it really is the battle between more torque or less weight. The Chevrolet Vega, if you want my personal opinion on it, I actually kind of like it. I think it's quite a cool looking little car. Comes in a lot of sort of weird colours. Granted, it does sort of look a little bit like the Pinto from the front, but then again, I'm a huge sucker for the Pinto. I really love these sort of 70s American compact cars. I have no idea why. I know they're a little bit crap in real life, but one of my dream cars is like a Pinto, and I do really have a soft spot for the Pacer as well. And yeah, the Vega is pretty cool as well. As far as it goes to drive, well, it is predictably slow. There's no getting around that. However, it is a very solid handler. You can definitely feel sort of that European handling influence on this car. It is actually a very good handling little car. It's sort of one of those cars where you drive it and you really want to start a spec series of these things where you stick a roll cage in it, you know, lighten them a little bit more. I can imagine that would be an absolute massive hoot to do. Of course, that would take a little bit of a time investment on my behalf, but yeah, it is certainly an excellent little car, the Vega, one that really did surprise me quite a lot. Next up, we have the 1973 Mazda RX-3, 110 horsepower, 100 foot-pound torque, 2,060 pounds of weight. As previously mentioned, this is the lighter of the two cars and the least torquey of the two cars, but has the same amount of power as the Vega. If we are going solely on a looks-based thing, for me, it's no competition. The RX-3 is a much better looking car. I love the face of the RX-3. I've seen quite a few of these sort of IRL with a little bit of modification to them, you know, slight wide body kits and stuff, and they look absolutely superb. There was one on Jay Leno's garage a couple of years ago. It was grey with black wheels, and it looks absolutely astonishing. These cars really are quite good looking in real life. Yeah, the RX-3, a very good looking car, and also one that makes a lot of glorious rotary noise, which of course we all love and enjoy. As far as this one goes to drive, I actually did have some experience with the RX-3. I drove a few of these sort of in the previous Forza titles, so I had a rough idea of how this was going to handle going into it, and I can't say I was surprised. It does feel very, very slightly quicker than the Vega. I'd imagine that's just down to the lightness and the revvy nature of the rotary engine. I think the gearbox might have been a little bit better sorted as well in this car, but unfortunately it does suffer from a bit of a bad differential. It does like to sort of spin one wheel, so definitely upgrade the diff in this if you're looking at doing anything with this car, and it does also understeer a little bit. I'm going to assume most of that's down to the slightly softer suspension than what you found in the Vega. It's not a bad little car, but it definitely needs some upgrades to make it really, really good. On to the times then, and the Vega is actually the quicker of the two cars, going into 364th place with a 140.004. The RX-3 is not far behind though, going into 366th place with a 140.342. Interestingly enough, the Vega is actually quicker than the Mustang II King Cobra, which is based on a Pinto but has a V8 engine as opposed to the Pinto's 2.3 litre 4-cylinder. So the fact that both the Vega and the RX-3 are very close, if not beating, the Mustang II King Cobra is actually a really good spot to be in for both cars. So yeah, surprisingly quick, and they're sort of around a lot of the sort of compact cars of the day, so they go sort of where you'd expect, but they're a little bit quicker than maybe what you had initially realised. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching this edition of Forza Top Gear Labs Rivals. Do let me know which of these two cars you'd pick down below in the comment section below. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I will join you on Tuesday for the next full episode of Forza Top Gear Labs. Apologies, these have taken a while to get out, sort of got sidetracked with some other projects and so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.